Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Tommy with Tommy's Top Picks, here to bring you Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast with John.
What in the world? You just totally messed me up. What? Hello.
It's our new intro. How do you like it?
Our new intro, our old
New
intro?
podcast intro.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
I enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you liked it. I don't know. I can go back to the hello next week if it's not liked.
It's all
But
good.
I thought it
I
would be
just did
fun.
not expect it. That's all.
I know. Gotta throw you off guard.
You did. You did. It was good. Anyways, so how was your week?
It was good. It was busy, but it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Got a lot of stuff done with work and got some stuff done around the house, saw some friends. And played Flesh and Blood, played Magic, played that's it.
You're like, played. That's it.
Yeah. I played
Cards
some Flesh and
Against
Blood and Magic.
Humanity.
Oh, yeah. Drunk, Stoned, or Stupid was the game that we played.
Oh, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, so it's like Cards Against Humanity, where you draw a card and then it says something like fell asleep in bed with a burrito. And
That's
then
hilarious.
you have to then give the person who drew the card has to give it to the person in the group that they think would do that.
And that's why you felt attacked. Okay.
And that's
For
why I felt
context, for the rest of you, he sent me a random picture that looked like Cards Against Humanity and
yeah,
was
that's
go
why I
ahead,
sent the
explain
picture
it.
of the back
Yeah,
next to it.
yeah,
I have to
yeah.
scroll
Got
up in
it.
our chat. We talk too much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Always wants to play the stupid card games. It was
Yes.
the first one played in the evening.
Yeah, well,
It
it
was the
describes
first
you
one
perfectly.
drawn. It was the first one drawn and the first one given to me.
And so they're just like, yeah, that's a Tommy.
Yeah.
That's a Tommy right there.
Yep.
Yep. It's true.
So,
It's true.
and here I am
Very
on my
fun.
podcast talking about those
Talking
stupid
about
card games.
exactly that.
So here we
Yeah.
are. How was your week?
It was good. Also pretty busy. And a lot of it involved testing outsider decks in
Mm-hmm.
tech, and it was a lot of fun. And I am really ready for outsiders. I cannot wait. It's next week, this week. By the time you listen to it, it might already be out. Cannot wait.
I know, right? We got 2 pre-releases,
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday. I'm super hyped.
Yep. I'm ready.
And our armory is
Signed.
Thursday. You coming to the armory on Thursday?
No.
We had 5 people show up to our armory.
Yeah, maybe I'll show up with my Reinhardt deck just
Do
to
it.
derp around.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is
It
it
was fun.
CC again this week?
I'd have to check.
Yeah, it's all right. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. Did you open anything this week?
Um, no mail. No, I didn't even get mail this week. All my mail came while I was away in Egypt.
That's true.
Got a ton of stuff. I did order some new stuff, some more foils. I figure. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. If you're on the Discord, you would see this because I brought it up. Bronson put out this video. I love it. If you look at the back of a Flesh and Blood card,
Mm-hmm.
it has these interesting little pictures around the edge. The top, everyone knows, is the sword coming down, but what you may not have known behind it is the sun with these radiant rays. And then to the left is a harp in little shards. And then below that is a dragon breathing fire. And then below that is a picture of what looks like a skull, but also a spider. And then at the bottom, it's 2 like angel wings and like maybe a devil fork and a serpent around it in a
Mm-hmm.
book.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, his theory, and I love this theory, is that this is the clock of Flesh and Blood sets. Starts out with Monarch. Remember, the first 3 sets were introduced after the plan.
Right.
So it starts out at 12 o'clock with Monarch. It's the sword with the sun behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the harp, so that's Tales of Aria and Everfest. And then you have the dragon, which is obviously Uprising and Dynasty. And then you have the pits, which is the spider, is the organization that the assassins are part of,
Mhm.
right? And then the bottom would be Dusk Till Dawn, which is this thing. Or
Mhm.
yeah, Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
And he proposes, and it keeps going, by the way. The next one would be a Savage Land, and then the one after that looks like Mysteria? Question mark.
Okay.
It's definitely some foggy stuff, and then the last one is Metrics, and then you're back to the sword. So he proposes that this is a prediction, like this is the order of the sets or the regions as we
Mhm.
visit them in the sets. Obviously, some regions can have 2 sets. We know that.
Mhm.
So this is the clock, and if Dusk Till Dawn is the battle or is the bottom, then that means we've just hit darkness. And if you look at the story as it's progressed so far, it's gotten darker and darker. And then the Emperor dies, and now we're going to the pits. There's all this assassination stuff happening. And then Dusk Till Dawn seems like it's likely to be at the Demasteria or whatever you call it, however you say it,
Mhm. Mhm.
Demasteria, whatever
Mhm.
it is.
The
And
monastery.
the monastery, that's I was like, "That's not how you say it." I couldn't remember that. And it's gonna be like the darkness rising. Because remember when the emperor dies, no one's handling that evil god, the Arali or whatever they call them things,
Mhm.
you know? And so, if that's the dusk, so we go through night, Savage Lands, Mysteria, which Mysteria ties back to why the heck there's ninjas here, right?
Sure.
In the pits, and then metrics will be kind of probably the savior at the end that brings us back to light. It's a really cool theory. I love it. I hope it's true. Anyways, as a result of that, I went and bought a bunch of rainbow foil brute stuff because I figure it's a double win. If there's a Levia support, which I mean, there's going to be shadow cards, so there's Levia support by default in
Mhm.
this upcoming set. And if it's a supplemental set with Savage Lands coming next after it, then we'll probably get some brute build-up stuff, teasers that aren't quite there yet, but
Sure.
will be unlocked in that Savage set.
True.
Uh, so I was like, I'm buying it. I'm all in. I took
Well,
his
we're
theory
probably
and I
gonna get
went
some
with it.
shadow brute stuff. Sure.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's a double win because just
Yeah.
with Dust Till Dawn, probably going to be okay to have these cards in hand, anyways. And then you go to the next set. If it's really Savage Land, we'll almost certainly have more brute support, which will make
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
those cards again useful and valuable. So I bought the rainbow foils. I'm not buying out playable cards, but I bought
Mhm.
rainbow foils of a bunch of brute stuff. So that will
Nice.
be open next week. But that's my story.
Good story. Then
It
you
was a
found
good
five.
story.
Then
I
you
was
found
super
five
excited.
dollars.
Yeah, no, I almost ended with that, but I decided that was a little weird. But if you do want to be ahead of the curve and see these things that we post and talk
Mhm.
about, you should sign up for the Patreon. Think we have $1 subscriptions? Join our Discord, join these
$1, less than
conversations.
a coffee a month.
That's right. It's like very much less than a coffee with inflation.
Mhm.
So yeah, come join us in the Discord and talk about these crazy theories. I love it. I think it's a great theory. Bronson's video's out there. You can just go look at it. But I was talking about it. No one was listening, but I was talking
You
about it.
talked
I
about it in
was
the
excited.
Discord? I missed that.
I know most people did.
There
I
it
think
was like,
it may have been at like 6 in the morning. I
well,
don't.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
No one's
sometimes I
alive at
post
that hour besides
at
you.
weird hours, yeah. It was one of those things where I posted, I was like, "This is really great," and I posted, and then I was like, "I really love this. I think this is thing," and then no one responded. I was like, "Okay, fine. I'm just gonna go on with my day."
Was that today?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, anyways,
And it's
moving
daylight
on.
savings, so really that's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, no, it was probably 7 o'clock,
Okay.
but everyone was treating it 6. I don't know. I don't remember.
I hate daylight savings.
Me too. Apparently, they're getting rid of it.
I'm here for it. I support that.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I just don't believe that Congress will actually do something useful.
Well, sure. That's a whole nother
Yeah, exactly.
thing. Let's see. Did I open anything? I don't think so. No, because we talked about the magic stuff I opened last week. I've been holding off, but
Calm before the
calm
storm.
before the storm. Because we got Scarlet Violet, we got Outsiders, we got
I totally forgot about Scarlet Violet. I
yeah,
have a case coming and I
yeah,
totally forgot about it.
yeah. We each have a case coming.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
that was also posted in the disc.
yeah.
We got a really, really good price, it
Hmm.
turns out. We didn't know it at the time because it was really early pre-order, which we always say don't pre-order, but it seemed like a really good price, and it
Hmm.
turns out it was a really good price.
Yeah. I mean, either way, if it was or not, I mean, I think it's just a solid fine.
I just don't like pre-ordering product, but that seems
That's fine.
like when we talked about it, I was like, "Yeah, you're right. That does seem like a really like the
It's yeah,
chances of it going above that are really high, and the
yeah,
chances of it going below that seem really low."
yeah.
Is price.
Yeah, and it from what I've been hearing, it seems like most stores all got like 60% of what they ordered.
I just hope we get ours because it was so early. I mean, probably because it was so early, but
Yeah, you
still.
would think because they reopened it a couple times.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
They did.
like they're a big
Yeah,
store, so yeah,
sure. I'm excited. I
yeah.
probably won't open any. I
No,
don't really open Pokemon.
no. I mean, opening Pokemon is rough. It can be real rough. Now, if you open it by the case early, like when it first comes out, maybe you might
Maybe.
make your money back.
Yeah.
But even that's a maybe. But
Alright,
I don't
what
know.
else do
I'm
you have to
looking
talk about?
forward to it.
You have
Um,
opening teasers or something about a top 5?
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, every week over on Tommy's Top Shelf Comics, we have Murphy and I talk about the top 5 comics of the week. And this week, we had videos that I definitely had pulled up already and can find at a moment's notice.
they're totally right here, ready to go. You
Yes.
can you can feel them coming. I can feel them coming. They're, like, looming over us.
Number 5 was Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 32. Did you ever play Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Yes,
Inferno
the first
Squad?
one.
The Inferno Squad?
No, I don't remember that.
They are making their first appearance in the comic book world
That's cool.
in that issue. Yeah. And I don't know. It's something interesting with Star Wars books wherever, like, it doesn't matter how small of a character, if there's a first appearance of a character with a name, it's like jumps up to like 15, $16 within like a week.
That makes sense, yeah. Star Wars is big
Star
IP.
Wars is gross, huge. Stoneheart number 1, which is an independent book that looked fun. Kind of, um, it's Emma Kubert, kind of a fantasy comic book. There's been this like renaissance of comics that like there's been so much sci-fi and like outer space and superhero books that there's just been this whole of just underserved fantasy comics um, that is having a resurgence, which is really nice, and that's part of that Stoneheart. Then we have Clear number 1, which started off as a uh, comicsology first. It's written by Scott Snyder, one of my favorite writers, and one of my favorite artists, Francis Manapul, who has really gorgeous, like super high intensity art. Um, and it just seems like a fun one. It's only going to be 3 issues. Amazing Spider-Man, we're getting answers to the question of why everybody hates Peter. We've been waiting for like a year almost. I think like last October we got the issue where it restarted, and now we're finally getting answers as to why everyone hates Peter for what he did. And then the last number 1 is Adventures of Superman John Kent, which is Superman's son, and it's the road to injustice. So if you've ever played the Injustice video games, read the Injustice comics by Tom Taylor, this is a new Superman book written by Tom Taylor of John Kent Superman getting into the Injustice world, which I'm not sure John is ready for, but it's a dark, dark spot. But it's
Cool.
I don't know, it's neat. It's cool. The original Injustice writer bringing this new fan favorite character to the world of Injustice seems fun.
Nice.
But
So,
that's
check
our
that
comic
out.
books. Tommy's
Yeah.
Top Shelf Comics. But we're going to talk about a bunch of games that we've been playing and talking about. John and I have been having a bunch of conversations this week because a lot of big things have been happening. Firstly, being Flesh and Blood and Outsiders, the rest of the cards came out. I don't know if we've seen everything because it
Yes, we
seems like
have.
okay, because we've seen the Fable now. What do
Yep,
you think of the
that was
Fable?
the that was the last thing. I think it's good. At first,
It's
I was like,
highly playable.
"Mm."
It's
I was like,
highly
"Mm."
playable.
Now I'm like, "No, I like it a lot."
Yeah.
Well, so here's the question. Did they switch tacks with Command& and Conquer? Because that being the Fable introduced highly playable Fables, right? Now, it was a reprint, so,
Welcome to Wraith as the Heart of Fandale's very playable.
it is, but it wasn't originally, if you recall. It took 6 more sets before it became playable.
True.
So I don't know that it was designed to be playable. I think it just ended up being playable with how the metas shifted,
The Eye in
to
Kano
slower.
is very playable.
The eye is playable in a lot of things, but again, it's not game breaking playable. It's not like super. Point being, I think there's been a shift since Command and Conquer
Shard is
because
playable in on almost any Viscera deck.
is it really? I don't think I've ever seen a shard come out.
Mhm.
Do Vis? All
Yeah.
right. Leave a comment below if you're a Vis player and you do the shard. If you think shard's like critical or
I
awesome,
don't think
let me
it's
know.
critical. I think it's one of
Well, that's
those
my
nice
point. I'm
to
talking
haves.
about critical and or awesome
But
level
at
playable.
this point in Uprising, we thought about that with Blood of Drakai.
No, not
You
at
don't think
all.
so?
No. From day one, I thought Blood of Drakai was garbage. I mean, maybe I'm overstating it, but I don't remember liking Blood of Drakai at all.
Okay.
And it's stayed low the whole time, and I think that's been pretty universal.
And Assassin's pretty well liked.
Yeah, Assassin's a little bit different of a story. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we ever said that it was good, Blood of Drakai. Maybe we got hyped because of the Emperor
Yeah, that's what we were
liking
leaning into.
only
Was yeah,
red cards. Is
yeah,
that really was
yeah.
that the thought
That was
process
the
we were
thought.
going
Yeah.
on? Okay.
Not a
Yeah.
CC thing, but like
Yeah, I was gonna say because Emperor's not CC, so
no.
it was never gonna be like
No, no, no,
real
no.
deal.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I could see me saying that. That's fair. Point being, I don't know that this is gonna be super, super playable, but it does feel like it's gonna be pretty usable. The biggest thing is the end combo of dagger, pitch, dagger, pitch, dagger, pitch, dagger, pitch for eternity.
Right.
So old him can't fatigue an assassin ever again with that card. Is that a legitimate statement?
Say it again.
Oldhim
Mhm.
cannot fatigue an assassin if they have that card
Why?
because they'll just keep pitching it forever.
What are they pitching it for?
The dagger
Daggers?
that costs two. And then they
Yeah,
also get a randomized token on top of it, which will be something that has to be dealt with. Now, granted,
that's true.
there's a lot of detail that goes around that. It's a big statement. I don't think it's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
It's a big statement. But
They
point being,
they
you
wouldn't be able
have
to
an
fatigue them. No,
in-game
but you're
cycle.
not blocking anything at that point either.
It's true. You're presenting something, but if you're at a point of fatigue, I mean, point being, you're not going to run out of cards. That's all I said.
Right.
It's not. You're not going to be fatigued out.
It's gonna
You
be
will die
harder
from
to
being punched in the
right,
face,
exactly. Exactly.
but you won't fatigue out.
Right, exactly. That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
so it's just another piece, and I think the randomization of it is so. 2 out of the 3 stack. This was also a conversation in the Discord. 2 out of the 3 tokens are stackable. So the one that isn't is inertia because it's just dump your hand and cards at the end. You can't do that twice.
Right.
Um, but -2 on your weapon is just fine. So having that play off a dagger, off maybe a stealth card with an effect as well, token effect as well, seems pretty good. You know, seems pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a one card hand. All you need is that thing in your hand. You block 9 or more and use that dagger. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 card hand. That and a 0 card stealth seems pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
mean, it's
reasonable.
definitely one of the more playable fables, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think there's almost no reason not to play it in Missouri. I couldn't say about Arachne.
Yeah. Um, yeah, because you do play the heart in Arachne, but when I was playing Arachne, it was very much for fatiguing out your opponent.
Yeah, Gogan. You haven't messed around with the Arachne Gogan.
I did at the very beginning. I really didn't like it.
Okay, yeah, I was curious how that is
It
playing out.
seems very mediocre.
Yeah, it's a lot of. So what I'm starting to see is that Missouri is can be Arachne but better.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
could see that.
people are starting to say because you can just build the contracts Arachne deck. I think there's a deck called Arachne Cosplay for Missouri. Um, that basically you play the Arachne Classic Contracts deck,
Hmm.
and you're just slightly better because you use isolates, which are that dominate stealth,
Hmm.
and you end the game on those. So
Yeah,
you're
that makes sense.
generating silver, generating silver, generating silver, and then you go again, go again, go again with as many stealth tricks as makes sense for where you are and how much life you have. Stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Seems interesting. I haven't played that deck yet.
Yeah, we'll have to do. We're gonna do some testing. We're gonna do some recordings, which will be fun.
Yeah. Tommy's gonna play Icelander.
Well, that will not be fun. It'll be
I
fun.
mean,
Imagine, watch I just win.
I was about to say, it should be fun for you because Icelander's really good against Missouri, at least in my matchup so far. People have said they figured out a way around it. I have barely played against Icelander, so I
Yeah,
didn't even really understand how to play against her when I
we'll
played,
grind some
and
games.
I got my face smashed on my one game against her. So other outsiders meta worth talking about?
Let's talk about limited. Is there any
Okay.
heroes that you hope you get to like that you pull some cards and play with at the pre-releases? Because our next podcast will be after we've done the 2 pre-releases.
Yeah, is it sealed?
Sealed.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was draft or sealed.
Yeah,
If
so
it's
it's yeah,
sealed, I'm kind
because
of
you can
okay with
kind of push
any of
things.
them.
Yeah, so you'll
Yeah,
just kind of lean
I
into
don't
what
really
your
care.
pulls are.
Yeah, yeah, like, especially for that because there's 6 heroes. I want to
Yeah.
play all of them at some point. If I pull a specialization or some, Majestics that are really solid for a particular hero, then I'll probably just lean right into that.
You know what would be
Um,
fun? What if we
what
did like a day, like a live stream where we just do sealed over and over and over again? So like, why instead of just doing a box opening, we do like open 6 packs, build a deck, play against each other. Open 6 packs, build a deck.
I mean, if we got our setup like Team Covenants and we were both entertaining enough to sit there and chat.
We absolutely are.
I disagree, but okay. And build decks while talking at the same time because I feel like for us, what will happen is we'll sit there quietly building our decks, and it will be very boring content. I don't know how those guys do it. They make it look
Well, then
so
maybe we
easy.
don't do it live. Maybe we just clip it.
That could work. Team Covenant is amazing. I
Yeah.
know they don't seem like it at first. If you look at it, you're like, oh, this is very slow content. But they manage to have these conversations while doing something and make jokes and keep it entertaining. I can't do it. I don't have that skill.
We're doing it right now, John.
We're not also building a deck at the same time, which is what they do.
I've done it before.
I haven't. I haven't. In fact, every time we've tried to both talk and like even play at the same time, it's gone really poorly.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Something fun. I just want to do
It's
something fun with the outsiders openings.
That's fine. Yeah, we can do that. But it's just like, yeah, it's a skill.
Yeah, for
Skill.
sure, for sure, for sure.
Um,
Maybe we can like
what about
film it.
you?
What?
Who do you want to pull day one?
I don't know. I feel like limited outsiders is my chance to dip my toes into ranger because it's one of the classes that I've never really spent a lot of time with. Um,
Azalea's looking good.
yeah, I don't. It really doesn't matter. I'm fine with like if I pull some legendary riptides, I'll probably go riptide them. Um, like the legendary traps.
Yeah, totally.
Um, but other than that, I don't know. I just think it'd be fun. And I got at our armory that I won this week, I got the token bow in cold foil. So
Which
if I
one?
get a ranger, the now you're gonna put me on the spot. And it's not in front of me.
Sorry, I should know the name of it too. I forget.
Uh,
It's the Riptide bow though, right?
yeah,
Gotcha. Whatever
it's
that's. Well, this is just dead air now.
oh well, of course. Because
Sorry.
now I have to look this
Barbed
up.
Castaway? Is it Barbed Castaway?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Barbed castaway.
Alright. Yeah, that's a great bow for Riptide. That is the Riptide bow.
Yeah. So it'd
I
be cool
think.
to and it's a token, so I can use it. I can use my cold foil one, which I think would be kind of cool.
There's some really good quivers. I don't know how I missed them. I think I only saw the first 2 and I was like, quivers kind of suck. And then there's other ones that popped up that I somehow missed.
There's the one Azalea specialization one. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
I was like, "That's
Yeah.
really good." I ran into it in the battlefield, and I was like, "What is this card? Where did this come from? I didn't even know about it." it opens her up for all aim stuff. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems solid.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
she
so I
did.
don't know. I spent some time with Fi. I spent some time with Arachne. So Ranger's really the only class that I like to spend when I play limited, I like to play heroes that I don't typically play in constructed
So, no
because
Benji for you.
what?
No Benji for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I
Yes.
don't no, that's what I'm saying. Like I spend some time with Benji, I spend some time with Fi, I spend some time with
I'm
Arachne,
just
so
expressing my
yeah.
excitement for you not playing Benji, that's all.
I mean, if I
Because your
open some
Benji
Benji
was
heat,
was evil, and I hated it.
if I open some Benji heat, then we're going Benji. But I don't
It
see
might
it in this set.
there's a Benji specialization,
Yeah, I don't know.
and there's cards that work with Benji. I don't understand Ninja yet. I am super curious. This is the part of the meta I haven't explored at all. I'm curious. I've heard Ninja is terrible this set. I've heard Ninja is broken this set, and I am not good enough or well versed enough in Ninja to make my own assessment without playing, and I have not played it yet. So I'm curious what people think about Ninja in general in this set. Leave a comment below if you have opinions.
Yeah, I haven't messed with it yet.
I feel like the branching is pretty sweet of the combo branching with
Mhm.
the rename.
Yeah,
So I think
I
that's
think it's really
pretty
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
I just don't know how complex and hard that's going to be from a sealed standpoint.
Yeah.
Probably a high learning curve because you got to remember, like you have to. Well, I guess sealed will be fine. Draft will be harder, right? Like you'll have to go in there with a mental guide of like what goes with what and how.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sealed, you can sit there and like actually put them down and say, okay, this goes with this,
Yeah.
goes with this, goes with this,
Yeah.
this goes with it. You can
Yeah.
make your combos right in front of you. But with draft, you have to keep it in your head,
Yep.
which I
And how many you have
enjoyed
of each.
drafting Katsu in WTR. I loved it. I was pretty good at it actually.
Yeah.
I think I did my best WTR limited Katsu actually.
Nice. Mine was
But
with Dory.
uh, uh, what a shock!
Because Dory's OP.
I mean, I beat you. I remember that.
She's the new
I
meta.
only lost to Bravo. Is
She's the
that
new
your
meta. She's the best of the meta right now.
so Tommy made this claim to me out loud. I would say in public, but I think it was
She
actually
was
just
in Discord.
in a private message. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
was
think it
it?
was in public.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. I could be
Oh, it
wrong.
was when you were telling me to learn Icelander. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
I was
You're
like, I
right.
think I have the cards for this. And
I
you
was
were
like,
like
I want to play against the best deck in the meta, and Tommy's response is, "Okay, so Dory then," and I'm like, "What?" So defend yourself, sir.
Dory Dory is a test hero. Like it really tests your opponent's knowledge of the game.
Yeah, but it's not like
Because
overpowered. It's
there's
not
all
tier 1.
no, but
Okay.
yeah.
It's
No,
like the mini boss. That's how I always looked at her.
exactly. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
she's like if you
If you
can't
can't
beat
beat
Dory,
Dory,
yeah,
you're not gonna get to the top
it doesn't matter
tables.
what deck you're playing. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Dory is,
every deck
you know
has
how to block,
yeah.
and you know how to think about value trade.
Yeah. And what do we know
Yes.
about Flesh and Blood players? Majority of them don't know how to block.
Well, I don't know if that's true anymore. Is that true still?
They're starting to learn.
I was about to say, I feel like the last few sets have forced it, haven't
Yeah,
they? Because
yeah. No, they
they
have.
got rid of just, like, Go Burr, that doesn't
Right.
exist so much anymore. Fi
Fi
being the exception,
Dash.
Dash is pretty Go Burr, you're right.
Yeah, Fi and Dash are the Gobert decks.
Fair enough, and both of them are tier 1, so
Mhm.
I guess I'm wrong, and that
Mhm.
still does exist.
Yep. And Dory does very well into both of them
Why is that? That's weird.
because you
Because they don't
outvalue
block
them.
her stupid. Oh my god, I never even thought about that. Like,
Yeah,
talk
think about
about
it.
using the weakness against them. Yes, because
Yeah.
they
So
don't
at
wanna
one
block
point,
and they don't know how to block, and
yep,
so, yeah, you're gonna be pumping
yep,
a +4 sword every turn.
correct.
Oh, that's crazy. I never even thought about that. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
and then eventually it becomes you can block with 3 cards from your hand and your armor,
And
which is
still
crazy,
swing
and
like a
then just
maniac.
pitch 1 and then
Yeah,
swing for 10.
yeah.
Like,
And they're like, "What
yeah,
happened?"
yeah,
It's like, you lost
and
because
ex
blocking is part of the game.
and it became even, faster with glistening steel
Yes,
blade.
because it pumps that up
Mhm.
faster, yeah.
So you can go from having 1 counter to 4 counters in a turn.
I wonder if that was a master plan. I'm gonna give LSS credit and say they did that on purpose. They're like, "We're gonna force aggro players to learn to block
Yeah,
by giving Dory something that makes her just a little bit faster."
yeah,
So that
yeah,
she's like she becomes the counter. Even though she's also an aggro go bird deck,
yeah,
she does block.
absolutely. Yeah,
She
she
does
absolutely
block, like,
blocks. Yeah,
blocking is part of the game for
yeah,
her. So it's like, it's punishing the lack of that trade value knowledge.
mhm,
Interesting. I love
mhm.
that.
Yeah, it's like, do I know the math better than you do right now?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
have to, like, read the like, you have to
Well,
read
and
the
they're gonna
warrior's
suck.
resources,
Yeah,
whether
they're
they
gonna
have
suck.
bolters, whether
Yeah.
they how many cards they have in hand, what they have in arsenal, how long that card's been in arsenal. Those are
Well,
all big signs.
and all those bird decks block only 2s.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so they
So,
really have to
they have
optimize
to
their block to even have a chance.
basically, what they
That's
have to do is
interesting.
block every other turn. They have to basically full commit a
Full
hand
block.
every other turn.
And that does that actually beat Dory then? Because it
Sometimes.
it cuts down the pluses every other turn, so you never
Sometimes,
get your momentum?
but then you're winning on card advantage. Like, they are putting more cards into it than you are
Yeah,
because 'cause you're using
interesting.
your weapon,
Right. That's pretty
and they're
funny.
blocking with 2. So they're blocking 2, 4, 8, sometimes 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that is a terrible block ratio.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amusing matchup.
That's weird. I would almost like to just watch that,
And almost
like
like
a
you have to as the Dory player, you have to remind yourself that, like, you're gonna take a couple really big hits at the beginning, and that's fine because then
oh,
your
they're gonna
counters.
slap your face, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna
Oh, yeah,
get your
while
way
you
up
build
yet.
up your couple counters.
Yep.
But then once you build up your couple counters.
It's like the training wheels version of setup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's cool.
it's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I
after
never even thought
I
about that about Dory.
so if I play my Icelander, you can play some Fi or some Katsu, and you can watch me play Dory.
I mean, I'll do it, but I won't be good at it. I'll
No,
tell
it's
you
fine.
that.
And like I said, I'm not gonna be good at Icelander, so
Yeah.
but
Well, but you've
it's
beaten
fine.
5 before, so I don't know why you'd wanna play against a bad 5.
Because you said you wanted to see the matchup.
Oh, just to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Not saying we have to do it a
I
bunch
thought
of
I thought you
times.
were saying you wanted to practice. I'm like, "Why would you
No,
want to
I don't
practice?"
need
Sounds
no,
like
you
you already
just said
beat
you
that.
wanted to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it, so we can
yeah.
do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that'd be fun. Um, yeah, that would be terrible. I would be very bad. 2 blocker and I don't
It's
even know
rough,
how to
yeah,
fly well,
yeah,
so I couldn't even get the strong swings coming, so that would be, 'cause that's a little bit of dance you have to know.
yeah.
That's, Fi's, hard part.
I think she's just I don't know, she's underrepresented in the meta, and so not everyone truly knows how to play against her, and
Mm,
even the people that think they know how to play against her and haven't played against her since Glistening, it's different.
but both Icelander and Oldhim are top in the meta, right?
Right,
And
right.
so they just wreck her face.
Yes, so there are some things that are rough, and they're not
Yeah,
that Icelander's actually not that bad.
that's surprising.
With the new because I play a lot of blues,
Okay, yeah, that's right. It's fair.
and I can get to the AB pretty easily. But I don't know. It's yeah, and then again, it's one of those things where you're just trying to keep counters and get value.
Yeah. And I think in Icelander is like one of those like unless you're a top tier pilot, she's very hard. Like she's hard to be good at. She's
Mhm.
very high floor.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair. Most of your matchups, you're probably going to be pretty good into Icelander because most people aren't going to be Michael Hamilton.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Yeah, fair.
Only one of us are.
Yeah.
But,
Um,
anything else you wanna talk about with Outsiders?
can't wait for the meta. Very excited about Uzuri. I like her. I have a couple builds that I like.
Mhm.
I'm going to bounce around on that a lot. I do want to see Katsu. I'm curious if anyone figures out um, Riptide. I played him and was like, didn't like it. I didn't like the way it played. Traps are a trap is the
Are they?
is yes is the common
Oh,
thing. The specializations are auto includes. They're good,
sure,
but
of course.
the majority of traps, while okay, you can't build your deck around the traps, which his ability makes you feel like you should do that. And the trick is that the part of his ability that's actually good, or I guess the best, the most value, is that you get to free arsenal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
That
his
seems pretty good.
actual power is
Yeah,
free arsenaling as a ranger.
yeah,
And then doing ranger things that are powerful. So aim cards really with the barbed castaway
yeah,
flipping up after you free arsenaled by playing something, so play like a power up to your arrow or something or a poison, thing on it, laced with blood rot, whatever.
right.
Then instant arsenal your arrow, flip it up for one, send it out for free or one or
Yeah,
whatever the arrow costs, and then the rest is your defense, and you just have to maximize your value with that sort of stuff. I feel like he's got the chance to be a better Azalea in some builds. You know what I mean? And Azalea has opened up a lot with this new set. There's just a lot of
interesting.
ability here. Yeah. So she's going to be a powerhouse. And I look forward to people that actually like Azalea and have been, pining for her to be good for a long time, finally having their day in court because I think we're there. It's not going to be easy because it's still a ranger, right? You still have to figure out, all the lines to maximize the value. But I feel like ranger players are good at that and
Yeah,
they've been practicing on underpowered cards for a very long time. So now that they have at power cards or close to it, yeah, I got the feeling they're going to come in swinging. And then the generics are freaking awesome.
yeah.
People are speculating how they're going to mess up decks you're used to, tried and trues, because there's going to be a few generics that are going to end up in Briar, are going to end up in
Oh no,
yeah.
no.
So keep an eye out for those. There's speculation on this. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm not expert on all the meta. Obviously, definitely don't know Briar anymore. But that I saw that someone saying that, and I was like, oh, that sounds bad for everyone else.
Yeah,
That sounds not great. Yeah, so I think the meta will shift just on the generics because there's a lot of them. And there's a bunch that don't fit the three archetypes or the three classes very
yeah.
well. They're clearly throw in for other classes. So that's my thought on Flesh and Blood meta.
What is your
Cannot wait.
favorite legendary in the set?
I like the flick knives, but that's because I've been playing it a lot. The hands, the
Yeah,
legendary
yeah,
assassin
yeah.
hands. Let's see what other legendaries are there. There's some good ones, aren't there?
Mine's Trench of the Sunken Treasure.
That's a good one too. I've seen that
Pirate
used a
class
lot.
confirmed. Pirate class confirmed, please. Can we have a
No,
pirate ranger?
no, you have it. His name is Riptide. He wears a trench coat of the sunken
No, I
treasure.
want the dude in the trench coat. His beard is so good.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's got a
Maybe.
net.
I mean, but we're not getting a supplemental that's also in the pits. So
I just mean eventually in life. I
yeah,
would love
eventually,
one.
yeah, okay, like 10 sets from now,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
not
get
saying
yeah,
soon. I'm
yeah.
just saying
The next time the clock strikes pits.
we'll get pirates.
That's right, pirates.
I'm here
Um,
for it.
Maybe before, but yeah. Other than that, I don't know what other legendaries were worth noting. Trench coat. What was the ninja legendary mask? Oh,
Um,
the Vambrance of Determination. I just love it because it's made to jack up seeds.
yeah.
I think that's fantastic. Not that I
Redback.
ever thought seeds was that bad.
Yeah. I like Redback Shroud too, kind of completing or giving like a solid assassin.
I find it to be mostly useless. But I like the art and I want the full art for
The
sure.
extended
Like
artwork.
I
Yeah.
absolutely am buying that. I
Yeah.
don't unless it's $1,000, I kinda don't
Right.
care and will buy
Right.
it.
Right.
Um, because yeah, that's an awesome um,
I also got a extended edition spike with blood rot at the armory.
which is cool.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting art. Oh, man. So, you know how I like the dark art, and there's
Yeah.
lots of dark art in this set, and we're about to go to Dusk Till Dawn, and we're
Uh-huh.
talking about how it's like striking evening, and it will go till midnight sometime in the next few sets. Does that mean our next like 3 sets are gonna be all really darker and like more sinister? If
Darker?
so,
Dear
yes, I know,
Lord.
darker. I am here
Dear
for it if
Lord,
it
no.
is. Savage Lands, man. It's gotta be worse than the pits, right? The plants eat you in Savage
This
Lands.
is dark though.
I know! What happens when everything's trying to kill you and you're killing each other? Love it. We'll see.
It's pretty
But
nasty.
yeah. Anyways, moving on. Next
Yeah, I'm just
topic.
excited.
Yeah, me too.
I've been playing some Magic,
And
enjoying limited still. I had a premiere draft yesterday where I drafted a pretty cool black white deck. I had the Skrelv Defector Might, which is a 1 mana rare, 1/1 toxic one. Can't block, but for 1 white or 2 health, you can choose a color, and then another target creature you control gains toxic 1 and hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. So,
that sounds pretty gross.
yeah.
Now, you've changed on me because last time we talked about the meta for this, you said it was like green
Green white is
something.
what I play in standard to grind the gold, and it's the deck that I enjoy playing, and I've been able to
Got
draft it a couple times.
gotcha.
But this one, I my first pack I opened a Phyrexian Obliterator.
Yeah, that's worth building around.
So I started black, and then in the next pack, they didn't take their rare, and it had the Defector Might, so I took that.
Yeah.
The Phyrexian Obliterator is 4 black, which is expensive, but it's a mythic with trample, and it's a
It's so
5/5. And whenever a source deals damage to it, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents.
yeah. It's so good. It's like the
Lands,
classic,
and if you don't have the creatures, it's coming for your lands, and like,
yeah, it's the, oh god, what were they called? The Eldrazi. That's how
mm-hmm,
they all work too. You remember that deck we played? I think we all played against the Eldrazi deck at our buddy's house.
mm-hmm,
He pulled it out and it was like it's just he's got some mechanic to get them out fast
yeah,
because 'cause they're super expensive, and then when they hit, it's like he swings and, like, half your stuff dies, and then if you swing back, half your stuff dies.
yeah,
Something ridiculous like
yeah,
that. It's just gross. That was his commander, I think, so he kept bringing it back.
yeah. And then later in the draft, I got the Planeswalker Kaya, which is 3 colorless, 2 white, 2 black. Very expensive for limited, but I was like, screw it. Let's do it. So I threw it in the deck. Hexproof +2. It starts with 6 loyalty counters. +2, each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life. So +2 and swing 6 damage.
Yeah, that's good.
0, you draw 2 cards, then each opponent may scry 1. And then -3, exile target creature or enchantment. If it wasn't an aura, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying in addition to the other types.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Seems real good.
yeah.
You were able to play it?
I
It
played it
actually worked?
twice. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I won with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to play
Being
it,
able
that
to
is a
swing
winning hit,
6
man.
life after
Yeah,
being on turn for 7 of limited, like, that's pretty big.
yeah.
I got 2 of the. I also got a lot of like combat tricks, which was a lot of fun and very helpful. Like Shieldred's Edict, which is an instant choose one. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, sacrifices a creature token, or sacrifices a planeswalker. So they get to choose, but early game you're paying 2, and you just remove their 1/3 drop that they have.
Just ruin their day.
Um, what else? The skull bombs are also really fun and limited, so they're always one colorless. Artifacts, you can pay one, sacrifice it, and draw a card, which is just good and limited. Or you could pay two colorless, one black. For this one, there's one for each color. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Draw a card. Activate only as a sorcery. Still seems pretty good. What else did I have? Oh, and then I had the Archfiend of the Dross, which is two colorless, two blacks, flying. It enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter from it. Then, if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its controller loses 2 life, and it's 6/6 flying.
So,
You get all that?
why yeah, no, why is that good? It sounds like that hurts you,
No, it's like a
right?
last ditch effort.
Okay,
Like you hold it in your hand till late game,
okay.
and then if you think you can win in 4 turns with him on the board, then you play him.
Got it.
Because if a bunch of things are about to die, if they basically you put them in a position where they have to block, they're gonna lose 2 life for each one of those that dies.
So they lose the 2
They
life. I
lose the
thought
2 life.
you lost the 2 life. The
No,
controller of the thing that got
yeah,
hit, not
yeah.
the controller of the
Whenever
creature.
a
That's why I was
creature, an
confused. I was
opponent,
like,
yeah.
I
Whenever a
got that.
creature an
I thought
opponent
every time
controls
you
dies.
killed something, you took 2
No,
damage.
no,
That's
no.
I misunderstood
Yeah,
the
yeah,
wording. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Okay,
you
that's
do lose the game in 4 turns.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, "This seems real bad."
Yeah. Unless you can proliferate to give it more oil counters,
Well, that's the
which I
beauty,
don't
isn't
have a lot of proliferate in my deck.
Oh,
So
well,
I did lose.
proliferate's
I did
amazing.
lose with him once.
He killed you.
But I got a bunch of removal. Like Palinar Disruption's really good. I got 2 of those. One colorless, one white. Enchantment, artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Enchant artifact, creature, or planeswalker. It can't attack, block, or its activated abilities can't be activated. I don't know. I'm really enjoying this set, and
For the
uh,
win.
yeah, just grinding games on Arena, getting coins, and then actually get won enough gems now to do another one, which is kind of cool. And it's interesting. So I'm one of the accounts is a brand new account that I made, and I've been able to actually build up like a pretty decent collection just for fun.
Grinding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grinding
That's
drafts.
what I did at the beginning of COVID because I was like, "I'm just gonna kill this game because I had too much free time."
Yeah,
And I was like, "I'm just gonna grind 100 games a day." And I did. And then I gave up and just started buying cards. That's where everything went downhill.
and look at us now.
I know, that was the beginning. That was literally the first time I was like, "I'm spending money on digital things." I was like, "Well, I might as well spend it on physical ones." And then, yeah.
And here
And
we are.
then we're here with a shop that sells cards. Speaking of a shop that sells cards, there's a link below if you want to check out our TCG player and go
Hmm.
buy cards from us. We do list stuff. I've actually sold a bunch of stuff in the last week from the
Hmm.
Phyrexia Complete Edition.
That we
Uh,
totally filmed.
I apologize. Okay, I'll tell you guys because we're late in this. If you're still listening, you get to hear this insider scoop ish thing, and we'll see if I actually do it. But we filmed it, Tommy and I, opening it, talking about it, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't our best film because I had just gotten back. I was still jet lagged and everything else. I was a little rough around the edges filming, but the biggest rough around the edges is I forgot to turn on the pipe that sends noise from Discord into the recording. So it's just me talking to myself in a very awkward way with big gaps of sound where Tommy theoretically talking.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible video. What I could do is strip the sound out and voice over and just talk about what I'm opening. I could do that. I may do that just so we use the content because the complete edition is really fun opening experience. It was actually really cool. But I also am lazy and kind of don't want to even bother doing that. Just throw the video away. So we'll see.
Well, while we're talking about things like that, last night I filmed and opened the starter kit for Grand Archive TCG that we can talk
And
over when, because the audio is not usable.
oh no, you did the same thing. What's
Well,
that?
no, it was a lot of drunken rambling with friends and
Oh, you did it with
yeah.
the people. Oh lordy, that was well. Okay,
Cards are
so
safe and fine.
That's fine. That's
But so
good.
when we do it, I'm not gonna bring it up in the video, so the podcast listeners, when you watch that video of us going over yeah,
What's in it? Yeah,
what's in
you'll
it,
know.
you'll know.
You'll know what was
You'll
really
know.
happening.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay. All right
But it
then.
was fun. Yeah. Got to take a look at the cards. They feel good.
Did you try to play it with them at all?
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's the game. It's the game we like and enjoy.
Is it is it as disbalanced as it was when we tested on TTS?
Hard to say.
Ray was really hard to do well, if I recall.
It worked fine. Was hard to I because we kind of just played with open hands
Oh,
because
because no
then
one knew how to
no
play it.
one.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
So, um, but I think it went well. And there's a little like starter thing in it, and a couple of packs for you to open to like then tweak your decks with.
That's fun. That's good.
Yeah, did it over my
Well,
new Grand Archive mat, which you're gonna love.
I've seen it. I saw it.
Oh right, yeah,
Yeah. It was, very
very
waifu.
yeah, yep. The other one was boring. It was just black. It's just black with the memory zone and things
Oh, yeah, it's just like the
laid out. Yeah,
zone one,
zone.
yeah.
Yeah,
Alright, well, that's
but
fair.
so then we have the dilemma with Grand Archive because I was talking about opening some Grand Archive, but
Tommy's betraying you. Here's the announcement. If you're
possibly
still listening, hashtag Tommy, you betrayed us.
convince me to, I guess. But right now I don't feel like I should. So the boost, I have the 4 starter sets that came. I opened the one, and then there's the booster boxes, which I got 6, but it came in a sealed case of 6, and I really just the shelf hungers for that case of 6.
I feel like this is legitimate, despite the promises, and I apologize to you out there who wanted to see us open it and hear us talk about it. But as of the filming of this video, the case premium on a per box basis is like, what was it, like $300
Yeah,
per, ridiculously high
yeah,
compared to the per. So
per
if he
box.
cracks that case, he basically cuts several $100s off of each
Yeah,
box.
yeah,
So I was like, yeah, just sell the whole case right now.
yeah.
I was
Because
like, just get your profits, man. Oh man, that's
but
rough.
then I could get a bunch of the first edition or just like the
Well,
regular wave that's
that's what
just about to
I
come out.
mean. If it was me, and again, we've talked about like our priorities for different
Right.
card games, and yours is different. But if it
Yeah.
was me and I had that, I'd immediately sell that case. I'd buy a single, maybe two Kickstarter boxes, right?
Yeah.
Like one just to keep for the shelf that's in good condition, another one maybe to open. Maybe. I'm not sure if I'd want to open a Kickstarter, honestly. And then I'd go buy the wave two. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because your profits are all locked in. You basically made your money back, and you can still afford to have some Kickstarter for the shelf. And that's how I. But again, the way I collect is I always anything I think is interesting, I keep one Kickstarter on the shelf. Like I have a
Right.
Kickstarter for
Sure.
Cryptic, I have Genesis, I have all of them. So that's just how I look at it, and I don't have a high um, like strong feelings towards Grand Archive. Like I would not
Right.
treat it
Right.
any differently than my other. But
Right.
at the same time, if it was a game I was really obsessed with or really into, um, I would get your take on it that the shelf hungers and sitting on it is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Now the downside is if the supply hits and the demand dries up or people stop caring or whatever, um, and the price crashes, like, and it doesn't recover for a long time, then
Sure.
there's that. But I doubt it will take that
But
long.
then I'll crack the case and then I'll just open it and then we'll do some box openings.
But then it's, like, past the point of anyone caring, right? There's a ton of box openings out already.
Yeah. But then we can do ours.
Alright, that's fine. If that's your take on it, that's
Yeah.
fine. Cool. Where can you
We'll
even
see how it
sell
goes.
Grand Archive? Just eBay?
eBay.
Ah,
Because I
that's
was kind of
unfortunate.
waiting to see if like they would put it on TCG Player because it's going through distribution. It's bigger than some of the games that are on TCG Player.
I forget what the rule is. I talked to someone at Genesis about that, but there is a specific metric they use to list a game, and
Interesting.
I don't remember what it is. So,
I guess that makes sense.
yeah.
Well, now that they're owned by eBay, maybe they're looking at eBay and watching eBay sales.
maybe. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Huh.
You would think that they would share knowledge.
Share data. I mean, maybe not quite yet because they just got bought. Like that integration usually takes like
Right,
6 months or
right.
so, but soon, if not. Yeah, you can just buy a booster box for $300.
Mhm.
235. Oh, that's from the Czech Republic. That's a lot.
I
I
didn't
mean,
see many,
it
like
might be that cheap. It's just it's going to take a while to get to you, or the shipping will
yeah.
end up costing you more than it looks like.
I didn't see many more, uh, available.
Oh, there's a
I
ton
didn't
up
s
now.
is it?
Yeah, for the booster boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch up now, ready to ship. 289. They're a lot under 300, but they're at the higher end of 200.
I
So
see.
yeah, they're all over now. A lot in UK. It seems UK really picked this up. Yeah, that's crazy. Like most of the listings are UK. Not that you can't get stuff from UK. I've ordered from UK before. Shipping's expensive, but it's not the end of the world.
That makes sense.
Well, I'll wait for my starter kit to reach 1,000 and then I will sell it.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
think
I'll
I'll
just
be going to, like, events and stuff for it, but
well, wave 1 is what, April, you said?
yeah.
Okay.
And then set 2 is August, I think.
And those booster boxes are currently selling. If you feel like you missed it and you want some Grand Archive, I believe the wave 1 you can already pre-buy for under 100 a booster box.
Yeah.
I think it's like 80 to 90 range depending on where you buy it from, so
Yeah, so it'll be accessible. Like, this
oh,
game is
yeah.
not yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's just like
that's
what happened with Cryptic. The Kickstarters went
right.
nuts, and then, the individual wave 2 stuff came in, and it's, like, very reasonable, like, the price it should be.
That's
It's
how I
just
kinda feel. Like, I kinda wanna just shelf the
yeah,
Grand Archive
that's
and then
that's what
grab
I did.
yeah.
That's exactly. I never got a booster box of well, I did. I got a Kickstarter that's on my shelf, and it will never be opened. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, it will never be opened 'cause that's just me.
Wait, you did get a Grand Archive booster box?
No, no, no,
No.
the, for, Cryptic, which is what I
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
was comparing it to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, it's all good. Do it how you enjoy it. I like looking at my weird games that I have 1 box of every once in a while. I go to my section of weird. It's where my MetaZoo sits, my Genesis, Cryptic, what else is there? Bunch of stuff. Used to be where my Pokemon was. Used to keep my
Now
Pokemon there.
Pokemon's no
Yeah.
longer the weird stuff?
No, Pokemon has its own section now because I got a lot of
Hey.
Pokemon. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff buried there, including Grand Archive is on there. So, yeah,
J John
real
from
weird.
5 years ago. Would he John from 5 years ago believe that the amount of Pokemon stuff that he had?
No, the amount? No. Well, okay. He would if you gave some context. If you
Fair,
said,
fair,
"John,
fair.
Pokemon goes through a really good market period," he'd be like, "Oh yeah, of course he has a bunch of it because
Yeah,
that's John. John likes markets, and if a market happened, like he's gonna play the market.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. WoW to WoW to cards to
True, that's
crypto.
fair,
If it's a market and you can play it, I will play it. I enjoy
that's fair.
market. So cool. Well, is there anything else to go over?
Um,
What's
Pokemon
your
Market.
favorite
You
Grand
mentioned Pokemon.
Archive deck
Still that one that we played.
with the sword lady,
Mhm. Just play all the swords.
Miss Aggro?
Mhm. Throw
Yeah,
all the swords at you, then become level 3 real quick with the dungeon guides.
lame. It's lame. I hated that deck.
It's so good.
It's
It's fun.
so easy mode.
Yeah.
Did you play that deck against your friends that you were teaching?
No, we did the starter decks.
That is one of the starter decks, isn't it? Isn't that basically what she is
Mm-mm.
in the starter
It's
deck?
not as aggressive and
As the
doesn't
one you
yeah.
you optimized
Mm-mm.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't remember how far that was off those
No,
starter
we
decks.
that was pretty far off. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just remember that she keeps swinging and it's really annoying.
Mhm.
And you got the dungeon lady
Dungeon guide,
in
yeah.
in both those decks, so even
Mhm.
the starter decks has the dungeon guide. Because I remember our first game, I'm like, "How the heck did you level up so fast?" And you're like, "It just does it for you."
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, that's a BS card.
I have those dungeon guide packs still.
What are those?
There's like an alt art dungeon guide,
Oh, nice. You
and
should
when you open it, you get a
shelve like,
there's a
okay, I don't
chance there's a
like
chance
this game that much, but I would crack that, put it in a top loader, and set it on my shelf.
yeah,
Even though I don't like Grand Archive, that would go on my shelf.
and
This
there's
Dungeon Guide, it's,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
iconic.
yeah, and there's a chance of it being a foil too.
Right. That's a shelf piece. I mean, I have Genesis Heroes on my shelf right now because they're fun and special.
Yeah. Well, we can do that after we do the walkthrough of the video of drunken shenanigans. Um, we can. I have a couple of those fun random silver packs that they gave us that we can open.
Alright. Let us know in the comments below. Does this make up for Tommy's betrayal? Remember, hashtag Tommy, you betrayed us. And
I'll
then
open a bunch of cool.
this
I'll
can
open a
be
bunch of cool Grand Archive packs.
this can be
They are Kickstarter packs.
Tommy, we forgive you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how the votes
I'm
go
not going to
for
be
anyone
forgiven, John.
listening this long into it.
I'm not going to be forgiven.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure how much people really care about Grand Archive. We have a
Yeah, that's
lot of
fair.
people that
That's
look at
fair.
our Grand
Yeah. Do you
Archive
care about Grand
gameplay.
Archive? Do people
Yeah,
care?
it's still one of our top
I
videos that are
know.
viewed, but I
I
think it's
know.
because we were the only people that had
I don't.
gameplay
Yeah,
up.
I don't think it's like our reoccurring viewers that are just watching it over and over again,
Yeah,
waiting
that's
for our
fair.
next Grand
You
Archive video.
you don't think so? They're just like, "I love this video. This is the best video." John just, like, loses really bad, and it's
The
like,
funny
"Oh,
thing
that
is, I'm
sucks."
gonna have to go back and watch our video to learn how to play again.
Oh, yeah, me
Because,
too.
like, I mean, I
Yeah.
know how to play, but we were playing
There's
last night,
nuance.
and when you're actually playing in paper, you're like when I feel like when you're on TTS, like it helps you a little bit, but at the same time, it's just easier than paper.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yep. It will take some work.
That'll be fun.
Cool.
Anything else before we wrap it up?
Not for me.
Cool.
Cannot wait for Outsiders. Cannot wait for Outsiders. Cannot wait for Outsiders.
I know. Got 3 days of Flesh and Blood in a row.
Quick note. Missouri is either tier 3
Mm-hmm.
or tier 1.
Fair.
That's my hot take right now because I think there's a build that we haven't quite figured out yet that is it cheats so much efficiency that it could theoretically just overvalue things. I'm not
Interesting.
100% sure. Like I said, it's not solved yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Does it
but
block?
if yeah, of course. Everything. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be an assassin that doesn't block. I think that's part of the theme of how they work.
Good. As it should be.
I agree. I think that's like this is the feel of assassin. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is that we have weird tricks, like things you don't expect, but
Yeah.
also we're pretty good at blocking.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Well, that does it for this week's podcast. So until next week, we will catch you guys later.
Have a good one.